I'm greeting you with beauty. In my healing room. Good, a beautiful now. Look at that. Hi, beloved community. It is Katerina. I have a few minutes to offer some insights and encouragement for you. This is my healing room where all the magic happens. I mean, part of it. There's my sound healing bowls. Do my practices here. And I wanted to give a voice to this contemplation on change and how our relationship with change mirrors our relationship with life. And there has been so much change this year. And if you and I meet for the very first time, please don't be shy to say hello. You can engage with me in the comments. You can say hi. You can say where are you from, where are you logging in from, or whether you see this as a replay. If you're going to be in the replay, just know that I will see your comments and I'll appreciate them. And if you see it on Instagram, on YouTube, where I will post this video later, you are welcome. You are welcome in this space of contemplation. And my name is Katerina Satori. I'm at the very core of my soul. I'm a mystic. And I channel wisdom from the higher planes of reality and also from my own inner direct knowledge. And for the last 8 years, I've been sharing my message online, and I have a big range. I go deep into mystical topics, and then I turn around and inspire people to lead themselves into unknown future from the place of trust and curiosity. I also help people open their creative potential and unlock their creative gifts. So there is a big range in my work. But through all that I share, I often find myself speaking about change. Hi, Crystal. Good to see you, beloved. I often find myself speaking about change and helping people prepare energetically and emotionally to swim in the currents of life, right? Life is change. The only constant that we have is that everything is impermanent, right? And it can feel challenging for our human mind to be at peace with impermanence. This is the jewel of all our spiritual practices, right? This morning when I was journaling, meditating, breathing, and entering the day, I was contemplating what's the purpose of spiritual practice, right? What's the purpose? What's the point of doing daily disciplines? And you know, when I contemplate on that, the answer that I get is to prepare us to meet change. Right, beloved? Yeah, to prepare us to meet change. If we don't have any spiritual practices that nourish our soul, we dry up inside. And then we become brittle. We can easily collapse, right? We can be, when the winds of change happen, we don't have the anchoring. We don't have that richness of spiritual flame within. So, right? And whatever spiritual practice is for you, I love the diversity of approaches because we are so different. We are so different. And for a lot of people, you know, there's like, some people are very physical, so they need to do physical exercises or breath work or yoga or stretching to actually get their consciousness in the body. Some people are more mental, so they need to read inspiring reading in the morning, to journal. Some people are emotional. They need to chant mantras and open their heart and to be alive, right? So I find that the purpose of spiritual practices is actually to help us become stronger and to become present, and also to become available, to become in communication with life. So when I contemplate on change, there is so much change everywhere around me. One of my best friends of 15 years is moving away. We've been living close to each other for the last 8 years. Another of my friend is moving away. So there is a lot of big transitions. And this year, it's numerologically year 7, which is all about change. And it's also a year of deep introspection. It's a year of faith. If this is the year of faith, of us to discover what that means for us. Where do we put our faith? Who do we put our faith into? Right? And it's also a year of intuition. It's a year of learning to listen to the voice of our soul, which is intuition. And when I contemplate on intuition, there is a bigger picture. There is a much bigger scope of intuitive guidance that we can access, and we can connect to the intuition of life. We can connect to the will of life, right? And our relationship with change is a direct mirror of our relationship with life itself. So when change comes and it's unexpected and it's abrupt, right? It means that life is wanting to move you to a new spiral of your growth, to a new way of being, to a new way of interacting with life, right? And what always supports me whenever I go through a deep change is, of course, I'm opening my heart to life itself, really watching my patterns of resistance or trying to control the flow of life, which is futile. The moment you start controlling where life wants to take you, you just create more suffering, right? You create resistance. So this morning I was reading the Gene Keys. I'm a big champion of that wisdom. I teach workshops on it. I introduce people to it because it's a truly beautiful collection of wisdom, right? Hi, Christine. Good to see you, beloved. I feel like why the teachings of Gene Keys come into our life is to prepare our consciousness for change, right? With the acceleration of consciousness, things shift and change. It's very even challenging to make any long-term plans right now, right? Like I have a couple of retreats scheduled for next year, and that's the only thing that is really firm. And spirit and life teaches me to become deeply present to this moment and to become really available to what is unfolding right here, what is unfolding right here, what is unfolding right here. So I was contemplating on Gene Key 2, which is the most feminine, the essence of feminine wisdom is in Gene Key 2, and it's called the receptive. And it's a transformation going from dislocation and that feeling where you feel dislocated, you don't feel harmonious within, and the journey from that dislocation to true orientation, the key to it is non-resistance to what's happening, right? To me, the essence of surrender, true surrender, is joyful willingness to engage with what's happening. And this is actually a secret to a spontaneous manifestation. I was just sharing that inside of my Wisdom Collective. When I looked back at every single miraculous and effortless manifestation that happened in my life, whether it was retreats that were filled with the most aligned people, whether it's clients who showed up seemingly out of nowhere without me posting anything, without me even announcing anything, whether it is allies and aligned collaborations that came in, again, without me seeking it. You know what everything had in common is non-resistance, holding an intention lightly, and letting go of attachment. To me, this is the essence of surrender as a relationship with life, right? Surrender is, to me, it's the essence of curiosity. You wake up every day, you say, I'm curious what's going to happen today, right? And I'm choosing to be deeply available to the moment. And not only that, I'm going to go bigger. I'm going to go beyond that. Not only am I going to be available to the moment, I'm going to make this moment better. How can I make this moment better? How can I bring my generosity, my heart, my energy to make this moment better? Right? Because then it's a co-creation with life. Life is bringing you experience. You're like, thank you, life. How can I add to this moment so the moment becomes even richer? To me, that is the beautiful relationship with life. It's intentional, it is inspiring, it is connected, right? And then when change comes, right, what to watch for, beloveds, and it's something that I am intentionally inquiring. When the change comes, it is easy to feel disappointment on the level of personality, because remember, ego, mind, which is, ego is not bad, it just needs to be educated to serve the soul, right? But let's say on the level of personality, our human likes two things. Our human likes safety and comfort, predictability and certainty, which again is nothing wrong with that, but our soul wants to grow in a new way. So you see how it can be a conflict. Our humans like, I want things to be the same because I feel safe in the same. And the soul is like, ha, 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 let's rip the carpet underneath your feet and bring some wild grace and aliveness, because your soul is ready to expand and grow in a new way, right? So there can be a little conflict between two desires. If we allow the soul to lead the way, we open ourselves up to less predictability, more uncertainty, but with that uncertainty there is more magic. Because if you become more and more at peace with uncertainty, you become more and more available to what? Synchronicity. Synchronicity, beloveds. So yesterday, my friend is moving out of town. My friend of 15 years is leaving, going to be closer to her mother, where she has support for childcare. And when I was driving to her yesterday, she said she was selling one of her items, and she's like, somebody who knows you from Facebook is buying one of my items. And this is how synchronicity works. And the same day, couple of hours before, I spontaneously thought of that person. And when I arrived to her house, that person was there. It was my old student. So that I haven't seen in like 3 years. This is how synchronicity works. You think of somebody and it doesn't come randomly, right? If you live in presence, if you live in openness to life, life begins to communicate to you through images. You will suddenly think of somebody, right? And then you ran into that person. So here's the moment of presence. When you ran into that person, you can simply discount it. Oh, great. It's just a random thing that happened. Or you can say, I wonder why this person is showing up in my life synchronistically. Let me be curious and listen to life, because there is nothing by chance. If we truly begin to trust life, beloveds, I am a forever student of this curriculum. Please don't assume that I have mastered this. I am with you moment by moment, deepening my trust in life, right? But this is what I'm realizing. When I truly love and trust life, that I am becoming more and more curious about everything that shows up every single day, because there is this magic thread of synchronicity that says you get to speak to that person. You get to listen to why they're showing up right now, right? And it's that level of presence. Then our ultimate assignment, life assignment, is to become the field of curiosity and the field of presence. And then the same thing with inspiration. Let's go deeper into more practical realms, right? If you are here to, you're here to bring your inspiration and your voice. When a creative idea comes to you, how quickly you pay attention to it and write it down, right? A lot of times, I receive so many ideas, they just channel like waterfalls. And the way that I pay respect to creative ideas is to attune to them and to write them down. A lot of times I don't know the timeline, like when is the time for this idea, but I will at least write it down and I say, thank you so much for visiting my mind. Whoever gave me this idea, one of my spirit guides, angels, archangels, hey, really appreciate that. I'm going to write it down and I'm going to cultivate that seed within me, right? I'm going to cultivate that seed. So for some reason, I wanted to bring you this ball. This is archetypal chakra. This year, beloveds, year 2023 is the year of change for all of us. All of us will be deeply transformed by the end of this year. This year prepares us for next year, which is year 8, year of mastery and power, true inner power, true mastery. So whatever you are not passionate anymore, don't feel the flow, you don't feel joy, you cannot carry it into the next year. That's why it will either fall away, disintegrate, or you're simply not going to have any passion to invest into it. Change comes to us because change is here to help us create new form of stability, new inspiration, and a new level of evolution. Right? So change is a benevolent force that sometimes feels like, oh my gosh, it's just reorients everything. And what I also find is the deeper is our presence, the deeper currents of change we're able to receive. 1111 is here. So can we trust change? It's for you to discover in your own unique way. I am finding if I am willing to listen, and if I'm willing to pay attention, if I'm willing to deeply trust the benevolence of life, if you just replace change with life, do you trust life? Then you will trust change. If you don't trust change, you don't trust life on a fundamental level. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's an invitation to inquire why there is lacking trust. And that can be a curriculum for the rest of your year. Right? I love you, Crystal. You are so welcome, beloved. 1112 here. Beloveds, I am preparing a whole transmission on a blueprint of a life and death cycle. So many people are going through life and death cycles. It is organic experience of life. Have you seen nature? We have 4 seasons, and at least one season of 4 seasons is a season of death. We are part of nature. At least one season in our life, every year, will be a season of death. But, a lot of times we don't even notice those seasons because we are so busy, right? We're so busy. So sometimes we want to kind of push that season of death aside and say, I don't have time for you. But it's only going to build up really, really, really stronger, and it will force us to pay attention to it. So there is a whole transmission that is building for me, but I wanted to share this message that change is an organic process of life, and change help us prepare for the new cycle, for the new evolution. I hope it served you. I am hopping on quite a few Zoom calls today. So I'll be in front of the Zoom in my protective glasses. But I wanted to say, beloveds, I offer you this contemplation that if you replace change with life, if you can replace change with life, see what comes up for you. And there is definitely a blueprint for death and rebirth. And I've been contemplating on that. I'll share that. If you're looking for ongoing, Karen, good to see you, beloved. If you're looking on ongoing spiritual recalibration, let me pronounce it, a recalibration, support, and a community, I have a nourishing soul oasis that I cultivate, and it's called Wisdom Collective. We meet several times a month, and there is so many beautiful resources that already wait for you. And I bring these transmissions. It's a satsang, right? The direct channeling of universal truth. And we have wonderful mystics that gather together. And it's a beautiful community to support you on your journey. So it's available until March 2024. I don't know would I cultivate it afterwards, but for now it's available until March 2024. If you'd like to join and experience the support, it is there for you. I'll post the link underneath this video. More transmissions on change, how to master our energy and our frequency, and why spiritual practices are crucial to be able to meet change with presence and awareness. Spiritual practices create foundation for us, and spiritual practices expand our awareness to recognize the flow of synchronicity that is always present. On this note, I encourage you to contemplate on change in your life, knowing that we are in it universally. Year 7. All of us will be touched by change this year in a way that is deeply transformative. And when we give a voice to that, knowing that you're not alone, you're not the only one who is going through radical change, we all offer that curriculum to prepare us for next year, year 8. Year 8. Yeah, here it comes. Thank you so much. Be blessed, and I'll see you soon.